Ladies and gentlemen, we're back to game number 3 between Team Liquid and fnatic. The series is now tied 1 apiece. This is a Beyond the Summit presentation. I am Luminous, he is Merlini, and Merlini, are you stoked about that Slark pick? I'm still amazed by it.
I mean, there were 36 kills in an 18-minute game, and I just love seeing the aggressive playstyle that is so characteristic of Western teams. And just having kills all around the map and just rotation everywhere is just so exciting to see and watch.
Now, quick question to you, even though the Slark games is in the past and we shouldn't talk too much about it, it is a situational pick, right? It's against Templar Assassin. They pick TA early, you counter pick with Slark, and you know that's the whole idea. Or is this something you could kind of jam that Slark in anywhere, like how you jam a Lifestealer into any draft?
Well, they actually wanted to pair it up versus the Bat Rider, as we saw, and he's actually pretty decent. I'm not sure if it breaks lasso. I have not had enough experience with Slark, but I mean, it taking off stacks is already big enough by itself. Again, Rage doesn't take off stacks, BKB doesn't take it off, and Dark Pack removing that is just a really big deal. And him feeding that many Magic Hearts just makes Slark really difficult to kill. And I think he is just a situational pick. I can't imagine him being ubiquitous or even banned out in the second phase. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't waste a ban on him if I were a captain, but it's still quite some time until we can get more use to him. He's only been in CM for about a week, so I'm excited to see that he has been picked up and used successfully, so hopefully more teams will start to experiment.
Well, we know it's not going to be a Korok Slark at the very least, as Puck's being picked up, and that's generally one of his best heroes. Really kind of finesse and beautiful puck play, and he will need some big rating riff against the big AoE combo of Darkseer and Magnus, which I believe was the opening pickup here for fnatic in game number 1, which they went on and dominated that game. So Team Liquid, seeing these heroes, they know how they work, and let's see what they could do about it. Rubik and Keeper of the Light is going to be their supporting duel, and so far I haven't seen TC play his Gyrocopter yet, and he might end up playing it this game because that's generally one of his go-to hero when Lifestealer is not in the pool.
And the ban's going a little bit differently from the first game, and Team Liquid managed to pick up a Keeper of the Light. Very important pickup. We saw fnatic just able to put so much pressure on those early towers without sufficient AoE from Team Liquid, but Team Liquid has Fade Bolt, they have Illusory Orb, and they have Illuminate, so I doubt fnatic will resort to a sort of Chen semi-push strat like they did the first game, and they pick up a Gyrocopter, already something different, and this pretty much secures their mid to late game as well as their safe lane carry. So just lacking 2 supports from fnatic, and I really like these 3 core heroes from fnatic. Vacuum, RP, Wall of Replica, and Call Down Flak. That's just so much to deal with.
Yeah, you were talking about this, I think, earlier in our KP series, where this character, this hero, just so good at magical damage output early on, so good at physical damage in the mid to late game. So he never really has a phase of the game where he's weak. You could offensive trialing with him. The rockets early on is very good. You could safe lane farm him. You could even go mid with him if you really want him to do so. This hero, very versatile and very powerful each stage of the game. And that's why we see a lot of teams kind of draft him quite high. He is the 3rd pickup here for fnatic. And we'll see what the carry hero for Team Liquid is. We could go for the good old Phantom Lancer. That's always an option, but maybe not so much against Gyrocopter, Magnus, who are definitely good answers in their own right. And you have the Darkseer wall on top, so it is somewhat difficult of a lineup to pick PL into.
Yeah, and we see AM ban. I wouldn't be too scared of an AM if I was fnatic, but I mean, I guess they don't really have many disables right now. Pretty much just RP and Homing Missile, but Homing Missile isn't really a reliable disable. It's going to be very important for Gyrocopter to get his BKB up. Right now, Team Liquid has absolutely no solution to a BKB gyro, so I think they need to sort of draft around that. Maybe pick up a Bane, although Bane is going to have a very difficult time channeling his grip, but they need some sort of very heavy physical damage or some disables that go through BKB if they want to deal with this Gyrocopter.
Yeah, I mean, generally your supports sometimes provide you the ways to go through it. SC, for example, is a way to slow him down. The Bane, like you talked about, I don't think they can even draft a Bane considering that the 2 supports are picked up unless they move Rubik to a mid row, which gets awkward with Puck there, so I don't see that happening. I guess RP can be stolen, and that can be a way to deal with it, but you can't count on that at all. Team Liquid, a little bit awkward of a draft. They don't have bad heroes per se, but it's just not that good against what fnatic's got. Weaver, Clockwork's going to be the final bans here. Any chance of Boba being able to play a Prophet this game? It's it's an okay hero. It could give you that late game Scythe of Ice if you really need it. But again, another hero that can't really deal with the BKB gyrocopter.
Yeah, I don't think that he's that good of a pick here, just because they can choose to either solo the Darkseer or the Gyrocopter versus him. We have seen Darkseer used in triple lanes, and Furion just kind of gets destroyed by both of them.
Sure, yeah.
Sometimes you want like a really easy solo lane. I've seen Furion pair versus Snakes even, and some other matchups he can do decently against, but against both those two heroes, the matchup is just so one-sided that the trade-off for his global presence and his split push strategy is just not worth it, I don't think, in this scenario. And again, he's not very good versus BKB. Sometimes that Sprout is very good against BKB if you can manage to target through the BKB, which some skilled players are able to do by clicking on the ground, but it usually only works for melee heroes, and they have Skewer to break down the trees, they have Vacuum to break down the trees, and Gyro really doesn't care about Sprout. He was just flack and just attack the closest thing and just hit everyone in 1,000 range. Doesn't even care. So Team Liquid needs pretty much an offlaner. Let's see what is left. Looks like Clock and Weaver already banned out. Oh, they will pick up the Prophet.
Yeah, by the way, for the record, I completely agree with you, but I'm not too sure whether this is an option of, or they lack the option of long laner. I think there isn't really good long laners left, right? Bat's gone, Clock's gone, Weaver's gone. If you want to go back to the Windrunner, perhaps, but Windrunner's not really a high impact hero without farm. It's hard for her to catch up in terms of farm. So it's very awkward in terms of teamfight for Nature's Prophet. But I guess what Team Liquid wants perhaps is the utility you gain out of the Nature's Prophet, having a little bit of decent counter push, having some global power to snipe a couple of towers here and there, and have a very assured late game plan of a semi-carry. But Fnatic says, all right, we're going to revisit some of the good old offensive tri-lane in the form of an Undying. And Keeper and Rubik might be some nice heroes, but they're not really that good against a big zombie diving their way in.
I like Undying a lot. He's definitely fallen out of favor. We used to see him picked up in the first 4, maybe 5 heroes every game, either banned or drafted. But teams have started to learn how to deal with him, and he's especially strong versus Wisp. But Wisp pretty much just banned out every game here, so we won't see that Decay just crush Wisp with a couple of stacks like we see usually. But still, I think Fnatic is going to try and put a lot of pressure, use the safe lane Gyrocopter or safe lane Darkseer, and just put a lot of pressure in the triple lane, especially with a weak carry like Luna. Luna is very good offensively if you can get off on the right foot and just right click a lot of people with Lunar Blessing and harass them down, then she is pretty good. But in a defensive position, she really doesn't have that much to offer. She really needs her level 6 and a lot of levels if she wants to be a threatening force, and I don't think she's going to stand up very well to Fnatic's aggressive triple lane.
Yeah, what she does provide the early game is the aura, which I think in this particular case is going to give the supports the necessary damage to focus down the Tombstone and break it if that's what they want to go for. But at the same time, if you're focusing on down Tombstone, you have to worry about RP, Vacuum, and all these massive array of spells that Fnatic could throw at you. So I feel like the team fight, as well as the laning stage, Fnatic has it under lockdown. And that's only working with the 4 heroes so far. My god, this is one of the most aggressive early game combo you can actually have, especially considering this metagame. Neither of these 2 heroes are frequently picked up because they have fallen off. Most of these heroes being picked up are more mid-game oriented. Venomancer and Undying are some of the worst mid-game heroes and late-game heroes, but they rock early game hard. And let's see how... I cannot imagine Fnatic would not go offensive trialing with this. They have to go offensive trialing with Veno and Undying.
I wonder how Team Liquid is going to respond. I think it's pretty obvious that Fnatic is going to aggressive triple lane, but even if they do scout it out, I'm sure we'll see a lot of rotations. Fnatic definitely wants to match up triple versus triple, especially with that Veno pick. Veno, very uncommon. I see him sometimes pick for Snakes just because that slow will still stick on the Nakes even after he rages, but it's still very unusual to see a Venomancer this early.
Yeah, I mean... well, we'll see. Team Liquid does have decent range on the triple lane. Of course, Luna being the lowest range. We'll see how it exactly pairs out. And of course, scouting is going to be a big deal as well. Quickly introduce Fnatic, as both these teams are tied 1 apiece. This is going to be the deciding match on the WePlay Top 8 Best of 3 bracket. Hani's going to be playing on the mid. Once again, going to be starting for the very standard quick bottle build. No Tail is going to be going bot on the Venomancer. Anti's going to be playing on the Undying. We have Trixie playing Darkseer once again. And of course, Era going to be going Gyrocopter. And he has a Wraith Band recipe. So fully indicative that he's going to be going at least to one of the side lanes and definitely not solo mid.
Team Liquid's drafter TC is on the carry Luna, most likely safe lane with the triple lane. His two supports will be Fluff on Keeper of the Light and Mojo Stormstout on the Rubik. Mid lane will
Boots
be Korok.
first on Rubik.
Oh, yeah,
Something very, very
that's the
awkward.
Kuroki build.
Yeah.
And the last player is Boba on the solo off lane, or perhaps jungle, Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, we'll see exactly where he goes. If he finds that solo 1v1 matchup, he probably is going to go lane it. One of the, I guess, big part of Boba's laning ability is having the ability to send treants and harass the Gyrocopter. But I don't think Gyrocopter cares that much with things like Flat Cannon as well as Rocket Barrage. So we'll see exactly how he lanes it. It looks like they want to dodge it, they being Team Liquid, which probably is the correct choice, right? They can't win that try versus try.
Right, I definitely don't think they can win unless they're like in a really defensive position in the safe lane and Kato can get some key illuminates, but even then it's just going to be really, really rough for them to win. Fiorun has scouted out the Darkseer in the bottom lane with a Treant over here, but he has scouted out these two supports, so Liquid has no idea where their triple lane is.
Yeah, we might actually see another kind of low-Z, multiple rotation kind of lane, because tri lanes will want to dodge, and Gyrocopter is not going to have a good time against these two kind of support up top. So far, they don't know. Nobody knows where anybody is. It looks like the Darkseer is going to be tree skipping, but Boba has made his own lane of creeps. Says, no creeps, no problem. I make myself.
Yep, I think they will dive him, though, as soon as that wave is dead.
Yeah, I think they'll dive him regardless of the wave is dead. Here comes No-Tail. Tankling through a single kill will mean the death of him. Here we go. Tombstone will break the trees. And there we go. Boba's on the run. He's like fighting. He wants to kill No-Tail, but he can't kill anything. He's moving so slow, and he is going to get encloaked upon from all sides. And he is dead. Trixie, or Darkseer is going to get the first blood. Very nicely pick up. And that's going to be quick soul rings for him.
At the trade-off, Era is not getting any farm at top, still sitting at 0 experience, unable to do anything for triple lane. So it's interesting to see how Liquid will react. Will they just sacrifice bottom lane and let Boba go jungle, or will they rotate their two supports in so that they can find Boba some sort of farm?
Yeah, so far I think they're okay in terms of not making that rotation just yet. Even if the enemy makes a rotation, it's going to be against a Puck, and the most impressive disable they had was of Gale, so they're not going to get the kill on Puck. In fact, the entire full-on rotation is going to go on the top lane. So basically, they just got to kill on Boba, gave a huge amount of gold and EXP advantage to Trixie, and then they're going to rotate off. And I think this is ultimately going to work out the best for Fnatic.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. And Era really needs to find us farm. We saw Shadow Fiend last game pretty much not do anything because he wasn't able to get farm, and they really need to try and babysit him properly in this game. They don't have Observer Wards. Team Liquid does not. Oh, we see a TP on bottom.
Yeah, rotation here. Maybe they're going to trap Trixie in the bot lane, or maybe they're going to just give MSS free farm under the tower and have a profit farm in the jungle. But for now, it's going to be a double rotation. They're going to start hitting on Trixie. Trixie thinks he's safe, but he does not expect a double TP coming in. Boba's going to be using a little bit of body block, but the lift is going to toss him back. Surge is running out right there. He has to fight his way out. Here comes TC. Novas are being spammed on top, and that's going to be the kill here for Boba. Very, very smart rotation coming from top. And guess what? Fluff is getting the solo EXP. He actually dodged a gank himself here. Tombstone being dropped down, not going to get a single thing accomplished. So, all things considered, very good recovery from Team Liquid.
In mid lane, things are going about as expected. Puck having a slight edge on the Magnus in middle. Puck's last hits 12, last hits with 2 denies, and Magnus slightly behind with 8 last hits and 1 deny. But I don't think any of the other heroes have been in the middle. I mean, they've walked by, but this has pretty much just been a one-on-one situation in mid the whole time. Yeah, about playing out as expected.
Yeah, you see Puck opting for a very stat-heavy build, which is somewhat of a standard for Puck nowadays. He's going to delay his bottle. You can see that Hani does have a haste in his own bottle, so the regenerative is going towards Hani's side, but the last hitting in the harass definitely in favoring Korok a little bit. So I guess now we're back into a little bit of an equilibrium, as Luna should be absolutely fine against this kind of Iron Shell harass because of his innate high base damage. And this tower almost in deny range as well, so if Liquid could get this deny, it's going to be a big win for them in the next couple of minutes.
So Anti is just wasting his time up here. I saw Purple ping him earlier, and Fluff just decides to completely bail out, but it looks like Undying will shift around to middle. I don't know if he's going to backstab it with the Vino support.
Yeah, Vino, where exactly is Vino? Vino's actually on this side of the river here, dropping a ward, and maybe they're going to see a little bit of rotation up top. That Undying, here's the thing, here's the issue with Undying and Vino. Level 3, they're one of the best kind of roamer. Like level 2, level 1, they're some of the best divers. We saw them really punish Boba on the bot lane, but under-level supports, these are probably the two of the worst under-level support you can have. Veno drops a ward, gets immediately de-warded by Fluff and stuff. I just don't know what they're going to do in the next, I don't know, 15 minutes. What are they going to provide in Teamfight Tombstone and a Venomancer Ultimate, which doesn't sound too bad, but they're going to be so under-leveled that they're going to be just food for, let's say, Korok, or for Luna, or for even Boba. So I'm not sure how they're going to transition into the mid-game.
I think it's worth a trade-off for their weak game, though. Trixie is playing a little bit aggressive in bottom, but I don't think anything will happen until Fluff gets there. But they're creating a lot of space for Era. Oh, the deny.
Yeah, the deny's right there. Gale's hit on TC, and TC, I think he's dead. Surge on top. TC's gonna drop a Nova before he dies. That Surge still lasting for a long time, and I think MSS is gonna die as well. The deny on the tower is nice, but not having an ability to teleport in is really, really hurting Team Liquid right there. Team Fluff and stuff is also here to actually get a little bit more EXP, but tower deny for 2 kills, one of them being on TC. I think Fnatic will take that trade. Back in the mid lane here, Korok still lasting and maintaining a 6 kill advantage, 6 creep kill advantage here on Magnus. Doing quite alright. On the top lane, looks like TC has rotated back on top. And throughout all of this, it seems like Gyrocopter, remember he didn't get any EXP for like the first 2 waves? Now he's the 3rd highest. In fact, he's very close to being the highest CSer in the entire game. So I think Fnatic has recovered remarkably, leading in terms of kill, they're leading in terms of gold through the last hit and that tower deny on the bot lane. So right now, Fnatic doing quite alright, and they still will maintain their early game advantage, having some of the better tower divers, having the more explosive RP ultimate. So I think Fnatic in a very, very good shape so far.
They have been leaving Boba alone to farm. He only has 400 gold right now, going for boots instead of a straight Midas rush. But taking out this T1 for Fnatic was actually very, very important. Denied or not, it's not that big of a deal, especially with the 2 trade kill that they exchanged for it. But being able to pretty much limit the space that they can farm from to this instead of all the way here is actually a really big deal. And Boba is going to have finding a lot of trouble getting that early level 6 and just getting the early Midas and Shadow Blade that we see so many Nature's Prophets pick up.
Yeah, he's going to have a very, very weak mid-game. Generally, you know Prophet's going to not provide you too much in the early on. Oh, looks like Korok perhaps a little bit trouble. Honey is going to try to walk out and got a Waning Rift, got a coil, but he's going to eat RP to the face, and the Ray of Nuke's going to follow through. That's going to be a kill. Boba will hightail the hell out of there. So Korok even getting ganked off. You generally count your puck being safe. He's not getting anything done. MSS, he's only level 3 with that boots first, trying to get some EXP up top. Not going to be able to find it here against a solo Era who could actually kill him at any given moment of notice. So Team Liquid really got to adjust a little bit better. You talked about how Game 2 they were able to lane swap and adjust very, very quickly. I feel like they're a little bit weaker in this game. Perhaps their hero's not really able to adjust as much, but I think Fnatic is finding more right now with their heroes.
Yeah, I think it's a first blood for Darkseer and just him getting a lot of space. He did die once, but I mean he's level 8 with almost mech, and he can just completely take control of their jungle. Looks like they are rotating 2 supports in, but I doubt they will be able to get a kill, especially with TC farming at tower. He is level 6 though, and he does have Eclipse.
Well, let's see if he's going to be able to run past a couple of creeps. They do exactly know where he is, right? MSS does have the boots. Can he get the lift off? Oh, it's so close! And the Luminate will miss as a result. And of course, that's a ton of time being wasted. More importantly, TC missing like 3 or 4 last at his tower because of that as well. So, big lost opportunity everywhere. Korok in the mid lane. Sure, he died once. He's still leading in terms of CS. But it just doesn't feel like Korok's dominating the lane.
And checking out the net worth, no surprise there. Darkseer on top with Gyrocopter closely behind, and the 2 solo mids in 3rd and 4th place.
Yep, and the rotations there, you can see that Fluff and stuff doing a little bit of stacking here as he's checking the 8-minute rune. I think now Liquid is they just basically have to farm. I don't think they want to farm. I think they want to look for kills, but I think they're farming until Puck gets his Blink Dagger, and then a lot of the offense is gonna come through that. You don't have something.
See a smoke.
Well, there's smoke coming out from Fnatic. Drops off a ward. Not too sure whether they smoke by this Observer ward being dropped by Fluff early on, but they will find TC. TC threatening to use that Eclipse. He's going to just straight up TP out. Very, very smart play, noticing that there is no mana on the Darkseer, so no vacuum. And MSS with the boots will be able to make it out alive. So, very, very good play. Thinking about dropping Eclipse and turning that fight, I'm not too sure whether he could get a kill. Of course, it will thanks to the beam luck, I suppose. But I think he probably would have died if he took the fight.
Era missing a call down on top. You think he'd really want to kill that keep it alight, but unable to do so.
Yeah, I think he's fine though. One thing that I feel the Dire support could be doing a little bit better is perhaps stacking the jungle a little bit more. and so that Era could get more CS later on. But Era right now is controlling lane by himself fine. You can see that multiple times Team Liquid trying to send supports up top to inch a little bit of EXP, but because of the threat of a call down, they can't get it. Meanwhile, back on the bot lane, oh my god. What happened there? I looked away for a second at Carnage. I guess Eclipse was dropped and everybody just died.
They try to go on Puck, and Puck just immediately turned around with the Dream Coil with a Eclipse to follow up, and those two heroes just instantly flopped. I mean, Darkseer trying to run around with low mana. He doesn't have enough mana for mech. I think he has the money for it, but he's just been running around with like 100 mana for the past couple minutes, and it hurt him greatly. TC just being able to TP out without that vacuum to interrupt the TP. And by the way, are you able to see my pings and like my drawings?
I do not see anything. The only thing I see is your cursor on the minimap, so I try to follow through with that, but
okay. I'll try to be more specific about
like,
where I'm
tell me a
about.
bot jungle or something like that, and I'll just look there and get a better idea of what you're talking about. Speaking of bot jungle, Undying's there. He's scoped out completely by Observe Ward, and Darkseer's there as well. This time he has a lot of mana, and TC does not have that Eclipse, so if they want to make a dive on him, this is probably the best time to do so. But I really don't think they could do it with at least only 2 heroes so far, especially with the Rubik being able to bail him out. So I gotta say, a very, very slow start for Team Liquid, but pretty good at recovery, especially with that big win here in the
fnatic. Hani is smoking in the middle. Oh, he just got a pop by Korok. Korok has a haste.
Yeah, Korok's probably gonna go for the kill. He does have Coil coming off cooldown in 2 seconds, but probably gonna save it in reserve to protect TC on the bot lane if a dive comes through. And the way that Fnatic is playing right now seems like they want to pressure and dive a little bit more, but it's so dangerous to do so. They gotta realize that Korok has a TP and a haste, and any dive will be turned against them very easily.
Yeah, one hero that we haven't seen much this game is Hani. Hani was very active last game in the early, or was it 2 games? Regardless, he's usually more active in the early game, but very passive play from him so far, 0-0-1. He's doing okay on net worth, but not what you expect from a Magnus who hasn't died any.
Yeah, he's I guess he's just on the farming the Blink Dagger plan, but like you said, a lot more active. I guess he also has been presented a lot of fewer opportunities. The way that the Team Liquid played in the first game, where he was on Magnus, they were diving a lot. They were looking for kills. Team Liquid a lot more defensive this particular game. They're more on the counter ganking plan. They're more of the counter TP plan. Looks like No Tail. I think they know where No Tail is. Tombstone's gonna get dropped, and he's running away. And No Tail, he drops a Gale. That's gonna be on 2, and he's gonna TP out. What a revenge Gale. It's like, alright, I'm gonna go, and that Iron Shot's doing a ton of damage with the Gale alone on MSS. Oh, come on. Just beam that thing. Is he gonna get the kill? Oh my god, they have to lift and toss. Wow, that was close.
And we see Era go for a Boots of Travel first build. This is very, very unusual, so we can expect some more action from the Gyrocopter. He's been free farming top after the triple lane pretty much just left him to farm alone, and Boots of Travel for a very unusual build, but I hope it pays off. We have seen it before on Hani, I believe, but I don't think I've seen Era rush it first.
So I think there's been an interview.
Chicken kill on bottom by Puck.
Oh, Puck being at all the right places at the right time. He's about halfway to his Blink Dagger. There was an interview where Hani talked about the importance of Boots of Travel and how he thinks not many teams really realize how important it is, especially against global pushers like a Prophet. Being able to defend your towers and rejoin your team for a big team fight on the opposite end of the map is absolutely vital. Basically, you add a Nature's Prophet to your team by picking up that BOT. So most likely, Hani picks up on the mid lane, but in this particular game, there's a smoke behind the tower. It was not detected this here. In this particular game, and looks like they're going to try to set up a kill on top. We did see a recall for TC on the top lane. Maybe they're going to be recalling another hero. Maybe it's a Puck they're looking for, or they're going to be diving. But here you go. They're going to lift Era. Eclipse, will it get dropped? That's the question. Tombstone is going to just counter that one, and they just have to back off. Looks like, oh no! RP, that's going to get silenced, and Eclipse just shreds him. What a silence from Korok. If they drop a 3 or 4 man RP, that could have been totally different. Dreamcoat's going to get dropped as well. They want this Tombstone, but they really can't go for it. Yeah, Korok's going to back off accordingly. I was just talking about the Boots Travel. Basically gives you the ability to match that Prophet going all over the map. So it's an item that only Fnatic buys, especially on the carry like this, Boots Travel. But it's an item that makes a logical and strategical sense.
Yeah, I like the item a lot, and I think it's a good alternative to Midas.
Merlini likes Boots Travel a lot. Yeah, tell us more.
Oh yeah. But it's a good alternative boost to Midas instead of saving money, or you save money on TPs instead of like actually gaining gold through Midas. But it's still a very good early game investment if you want it to pay off, especially with the way the game's been going. It's just so passive on Team Liquid. If they're forced into this aggressive position, I think Liquid has very good turtling skills. They can counter initiate with Dream Coil. They have Caudal Blast if you run in too far, in Eclipse. It's just very, very dangerous if Fnatic overextends. And this way they can try and play the farming game. Usually if you play the farming game versus Nature's Prophet, you'll usually lose out in the end, especially with Recall and Nature's Prophet. It's just very difficult to win against that, especially with a lineup that Fnatic has. But with Boots of Travel, you can actually counter the split push.
Yep, counter split push, find farms elsewhere, rejoin team fight. It just provides you a ton, and it looks like we're gonna have a little bit of recall action here as Fluff and stuff traversing through the jungle. Yep, it's gonna be Korok here. Does have his blink dagger, excuse me, and looks like they want to initiate on Undying. It's been hard to actually do so far, and they're gonna find him in jungle. Tree Man waning rift into Coil. And look at the damage being burst out. When your puck has a blink dagger, it is so easy. And a good thing to see Team Liquid getting that. But on the bot lane, it's hard to push because, like I said, Boots Travel, you see a team fight up top, you know you can't help it. Just BOT down, put on some pressure. And I don't even think that Team Liquid could push up top. Yeah, they just have to defend. Boots Travel in action, guys.
Oh yeah, and drums. They're super, super fast.
Yeah.
What's not to like?
Yeah, well, I guess with the invention of Tranquil Boots, I guess MS is a little bit of not as important being for the Boots Travel, but the TP ability is still very, very key. Back on the top lane.
That Tranquil Boots nerf.
That's true though. I imagine Tranquil Boots might get nerfed even further. It's still by far a big Boots of choice for a lot of heroes, so maybe.
Yeah, Gyrocopter really does need BKB next though. They have so much magic damage, he can't cope with it and do the damage that he needs to in team fights without that BKB.
Korok finds himself a Venomancer. That Venomancer's dead. That was a Raining Rift in Coil into Orb to Raining Rift, and that was a double easy being picked up, double nukes into a kill. You were talking about during the draft that Team Liquid doesn't have an answer to a BKB, and they still don't have an answer by the end of the draft to a BKB. The thing is, he's not rushing for that early game BKB, so I feel like Team Liquid has a lot of time to find these kills. And so far, Korok, look at how aggressive he's playing in the jungle. Just basically doesn't care. He's like, you find me, that's fine. I have Coil, I have Orb, I have a Phase Shift, and Blink. I'm not gonna die, and if I find anybody, you're dead. So it's good. I also want to commend Fluff. He's playing so aggressive.
Watch bottom.
Yeah, I'm watching a couple of ults being dropped. You do see Boba coming in right now. He's looking for the Sprout. He does find Hani. Hani, though, does not have that Skewer. He's going to go down to another Nova. Drops RP. RP gets stolen, and he's going to go down. No, he pops a regen, so he does survive. But the Coil's going to come through from behind. Korok's going to come with everything, and they're going to get one kill. They're focusing on No-Tail. No-Tail's basically dead as well. He does go down to MSS, and they have the RP. Is going to be dropping it. There's the RP. That's going to be on 2. TC wishes he has another Eclipse. Calldown's going to get dropped, and that should be the end of that engagement. Very well played by Team Liquid. Korok should be fine. He has a blink. He's going to blink out just to be okay. So very, very well played by Team Liquid, and another big win here.
Yeah, Hani just not finding the RPs that he was finding in the first game. I mean, he doesn't have his blink that yet, but it's pretty late into the game. 17 minutes in, only Arcane, Bottle, and 1,000 gold. He hasn't really hit any RPs. His 2 deaths. One was close to the T1 tower on Team Liquid side, and another just a very overextension by him. And this is where Liquid's safe playstyle comes into play. You're forced to... If you want to find kills, you have to go very deep into the Radiant side of the map, and it's just very easy for the extremely mobile Liquid team to counter and react accordingly.
Yeah, speaking of mobility, Fluff and stuff, generally, Keeper of Light has this like bad rep of being a turtle hero. We've seen teams defending with Blinding Light, Illuminate, multiple Illuminates, but here, look at him. He's sending his teammates. He's basically being a free mobile tower for his team to TP him for free. And of course, there's a Nature Prophet on top of that. That's also going to be long. They are basically everywhere. Back in the mid lane, Korok, just a little bit of slight harass against Hani to force him away. And back on the top lane, just non-stop global pressure coming out from Team Liquid. Very refreshing style of play here, and so far, very, very effective.
And Bulba has recovered quite nicely from his first Blood Death. He has Hand of Midas and Shadow Blade up, as well as 600 gold. So he's looking in very good shape, and he might even have Sheep up before Gyrocopter has his BKB. Gyrocopter already has his Mithril Hammer, though he will be going that item next.
Wow, looks like Boba teleport finds himself Venomancer on the bot lane, gets a free kill. Butcher travel in from Era to rescue his support. Centaur being dropped down here by Venomancer to make sure that Era get the kill. So very nicely played. At the end of the day, yeah, I'll trade a Venomancer who doesn't do much at this point in the game for a farming Nature's Prophet. Meanwhile, on the top lane,
Venomancer for 2 towers, though. It looks like they might get a second one up top. They did get that free one in mid, and they are smoked in middle, close to the Roshan pit.
yeah, they're looking for a little bit more. Of course, Puck looking for kills. Is this the DreamHack smoke for Ancient Steals? I don't think so. They don't have enough damage to actually take those Ancients. Fluff and stuff does drop 2 very, very deep aggressive wards. I think they want to punish any kind of Ancient farming a little bit later on. They know Era's in this particular vicinity of the map, and Korok could blow the hell out of him because he doesn't have BKB just yet. The trees respawn back. What a time to respawn back. It's going to give Era a little bit of time. Oh, will it though? No, the nuke's being dropped out here, and I'm losing animation frames, but they're going to get a kill on Gyrocopter nonetheless. Is it just me that... Okay, it looks like the server is lagging really badly. Not just me.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Fnatic right now. Liquid has pretty much expanded the place that they can farm just wildly. Before, they couldn't even farm at their T1 tower on top, and they were only limited to pretty much the 2 leftmost neutral camps on bottom camp. But now they've pretty much opened up the whole entire map. Pretty much the only thing that's off limits is the Dire Ancients, and they have that very well warded in case they do want to take an engagement there. But TC just farming the opponent's jungle and then getting recalled in by Fluff. They're making very efficient use out of the hero movement. And taking a look at the graphs right now, it's about 8,000 difference for XP earned in favor of Liquid, and the gold graph is just around 6,000 again in favor of Liquid.
Yeah, and when you pick up heroes like Venomancer and Undying, you expect yourself to have that kind of lead. And you basically says, all right, my hero's not that good mid-game, but because we have gold and EP lead, we should have the item lead. We should be able to at least play even on the mid-game. What do you do when you have Veno and Undying in a game that you're losing the early game? I'm not too sure. I feel like these 2 heroes have very limited kind of item expansion. They have very limited mid-game utility. And it's going to be hard. There's a lot of weight on Gyrocopter's shoulder. And unfortunately, he just got killed. Magnus is slowing down in terms of his farms. Finally still working towards his blink. He's going to have in about 2-3 more minutes on Melissa farm. And we talked about how Darkseer had an explosive early game. He's kind of tapered off. He wasn't able to get too much farm after the ganking, the mid-game stage happened. So I'm not too sure what tricks he could provide to his team either.
I think those 3 heroes have done their job. Like Venomancer and Undying and Darkseer, they put up so much pressure on Liquid during the early part of the game, pretty much allowing Magnus just to one-on-one Puck in middle and just buying all the time in the world for Gyrocopter to farm. I feel like they'd be better suited to a different carry than Gyrocopter, just because Gyrocopter really hasn't done anything in the first 20 minutes of the game. He just farm, has Mithril Hammer, BOTs, Drums of Endurance. Yeah, again, almost has his BKB just around 1,000 gold away. But look at his score. He's 1-1-0. Only involved in 1 kill the whole entire game. And usually if you have that sort of hero, you'd be much better suited to like a Faceless Void, and Anti-Mage, even Phantom Lancer. Like those kind of heroes are the AFK farmers. Okay, I will see you in 25 minutes. If you let me farm for 25 minutes, then it's good game. But with Gyrocopter, who has the potential to make a lot of early game impact, especially with the space created by the other heroes, I feel like they would have just been better suited to a either more aggressive playstyle from the Gyrocopter or a more passive pick from them.
Yeah, not only that, Team Liquid is fine to actually farm with you. You just talked about previously, I think during this pause, they could farm anywhere on the map. They're actually foraying multiple times to enemy jungle to kick camps. And of course, with the somewhat of a late Midas on Nature's Prophet, he's going to eventually outfarm you. You talked about how if you try to play a farming game against Nature's Prophet, he will outfarm you, especially with the calling for your police to do this anti-DDoS. Unfortunately, maybe they're a little bit busy taking care of other world actions elsewhere. But yeah, I think Team Liquid could take this game late. They have all the mobility in the world. This got to be some of the most active Keeper of Light play I've seen. He's just constantly on that recall, really abusing the fact that it has only a 15-second cooldown. So, hey, Fluff is kind of playing this hero on a different axis, I want to say.
Yeah, Keeper of the Light, just such an incredible hero. And poor Venomancer, no tail, almost 20 minutes in, not even level 6. Poor guy. Usually, he can do a good amount of damage, just like vacuum into a Poison Nova. Yeah, sure, you're gonna die, but you're gonna usually take a couple of support downs with you. But he's died 4 times and not even one Poison Nova yet this game because he's not level 6. Meanwhile, Anti on the Undying is a little bit more fortuitous with his levels, 7.5 right now.
Yeah, the Tombstone is nice, but like I said previously, if they want to focus down on the Tombstone, they can. It just means how much this Tombstone is going to buy time for the RP, buying time for the Vacuum, and so far, because the other two heroes are not as impactful, that Tombstone is not going to be impactful in its own right. Looks like the ping is okay. I just did a ping check. Everybody's around the 100 to 200 area. We could start playing, I suppose, and hopefully no more, no more technical issue would come up.
And keep in mind that this third game is being played on the Luxembourg server. Fnatic did win the coin flip, so they get server advantage for game 1 and game 3.
I'm pretty sure whenever there is between these two teams, there's always like server talks and how it's impossible to win on the enemy server. Team Liquid though doing quite alright so far, despite whatever server nerf or disadvantage they might be. And it looks like they're gonna steal the enemy ancients. You talked about how they can farm all over the enemy map. They're gonna farm. If they can steal this big camp, it's gonna be huge. Oh, they find Trixie. Trixie's gonna be dead, and they will lose a lot of team fight. No, he mechs, and he just runs straight out. So very nicely played. There was Eclipse up on TC. I guess he just didn't really wanna, I guess, waste such a big long cooldown ultimate just for that one kill.
Wow, yeah, losing his Ancient Stack is a huge blow. Gyrocopter was farming so well, and without this Ancient Stack, it's still going to be a while until he gets his BKB. I feel like they could take a team fight. This is like the perfect position for them to fight. They're all 5 clumped up. They have to run up those stairs, which is a very nice choke point for a vacuum. They can even vacuum up the cliff if they want to. There's RP. There's just so many ways for them to deal with it. Nice Vino Gale, Call Down, and Tombstone, but they're just giving it up for nothing.
Yeah, well, they have no sight, right? Team Liquid has all the basically warded, and so far Fnatic's playing with Dark. I guess you could drop a couple of Venom wards for a couple of wards for sight for the team fight. Everybody was just too far away. I guess Fnatic says, all right, we know you're stealing our ancients. We can't do too much about it because we don't have the blink yet on the Magnus. We'll just take this time to farm that blink and then get a little bit more farm on Era. So it's a I guess a strategical choice, but I'm not too sure whether it worked out fine. At the end of the day, they will have Gyrocopter BKB. They will have the Blink Dagger on Magnus, so maybe we'll see if that's what they need to win a team fight.
Yeah, I just really haven't felt Hani this game, and hopefully he can start hitting some big RPs with his Blink Dagger because Fnatic is just way behind right now. Era is split pushing top though with those Wizard Travel. They will be able to take this fight. Looks like they are in position to defend it.
Yeah, and Team Liquid just TPs back out. Very smart choice. I don't think you should force that, especially if you don't know what Magnus has item-wise.
And especially since Fnatic, I think the pressure's on them. They only have Gyrocopter for late game. Meanwhile, Liquid has Puck, who can be pretty impactful late game. Actually, he's going Orchid instead of Sheep, but even with Orchid, he can still be pretty impactful. They have a Luna and a Furion, who is very farm. So I think the pressure's on Fnatic to make some moves.
Yeah, let's not forget about how Keeper Elia find late game support, the fact that he could grant his entire team global mobility. Of course, Rubik, he can steal RP. We've seen him do it so far, so I feel like all 5 of these heroes on Team Liquid could go fairly late. It looks like we're going to see a little bit of Roshan snipes here coming out from Fnatic. This is exactly what they need to at least start going towards a comeback direction. If you give Era, BKB, and an Aegis, suddenly he becomes a lot more impactful. He can play a lot more aggressive. Call Down is one of the lower cooldown ultimates, and teamfights could last long enough where he drops 2 Call Down, and that could be very tie turning as well. So,
they're recalling in TC right now.
Looks like the Orb's gonna scout things out. Tombstone's gonna drop. TC's already back here, and then the Roshan is so low. Korok's gonna find a 3-man Dream Coil, but where's the follow-up? Hani's just waiting on the high ground here. Roshan's low. Roshan's not gonna get pulled down, and this Tombstone doing a ton of zombie creation. They're gonna destroy the Tombstone, and because Team Liquid is so mobile, they're right there in this team fight. Hani looking for it. It's just gonna be a 1-man RP. RP being stolen, and MSS walks in. Counter RP comes through. Eclipse follows through, and Team Liquid wipes 4 immediately. TC has his own BKB. I talked about how big Fnatic would need that Aegis, but no, it's Liquid that's gonna take the Aegis on TC. And wow, this game just escalated quite quickly.
Wow, Hani waited for a long time, but great positioning by Liquid there. I mean, Fnatic has vision. They have this ward on top of the hill, and they had complete sight of most of Team Liquid's team, but Hani being only able to pull one RP, and he's pretty much only hit 2 heroes this whole entire game with RP. I don't think I've seen that many RPs from them, and this is really costing them. They really needed to set up the fight. Perhaps Trixie can start it off with a vacuum, but only hitting 1 RP, and that being the Luna, and then it immediately getting stolen by Rubik is just really great positioning by Liquid. And again, I think Hani with these RPs is costing them very heavily.
Yes, RP is down, Glyph is down, they have lost 2 towers, and I think they're going to lose more. Fluff and stuff brought his teammates down. I think he's going to walk straight up top, in fact. Well, no, it's going to buy a secret shop. I think they can walk straight up top and take that tier 2 if that's what they want right now. Or they could actually do a little bit of base pressure. Probably not going to take a Rax right here then. But they know that the RP is not up. And they could actually take this fight. No, they're going to turn back. Maybe farm the enemy Ancients a little bit. And the entire map's to Team Liquid's disposal right now. Leading by 14,000 gold experience. A bigger lead even at that. So Team Liquid basically in a position where I can't see them lose. Unless Fnatic makes some just miraculous plays.
Yeah, Korak does have his Orchid up, so he's pretty much just going to be hunting down the Magnus every single fight. He's in no danger. They have no other stuns besides Magnus, so as long as he gets that Orchid on Magnus, they're gonna win. They're gonna win the team fight. Just because Hani's so far away from BKB, he needs 3,000 gold. They don't have any sort of map control. Era will be gone on top, but he just BKBs, TPs out. But again, Hani didn't have any RPs early, mid, and I don't think he's going to have any past his 25-minute mark either, just because of that Orchid pickup. And Korak likes to play aggressively. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to blink in, silence, and if he can find the Magnus, it's going to be team fight lost.
Yeah, you talked about how patient he was in that last team fight. He was waiting on that wing. Waiting in this particular area, being cloaked up. I think if he needs to drop a big RP, he needs something like a smoke. Stay very far back, smoke, out of sight, and hopefully that the enemy team clumps up and drop a big one. But he just doesn't have the time to set that up. Team Liquid picks up the last tier 2. I think they could go. They still have the Aegis up on Luna. It's still very fresh. In fact, Fluff and stuff is, again, doing his thing. He's got the mech, he's got the arcane, and they're slowly sieging in. Venomancer will slow it down with those wards, but I don't think TC cares too much.
Yeah, Hani looking for a lucky rune pickup on bottom. Let's see if he gets anything that he needs.
Nope.
Yep,
and he's going to have to TP back very quickly. He will do so. Meanwhile, Korok blows a support up immediately. BKB being used here. So with BKB down on TC, maybe you can make a go. Keep in mind that he still has the Aegis. The Tomb, is that Radiant's Tomb? Yep. I think so. Yeah, that makes things even harder. Yeah, that is.
Yeah, Mojo still had the RP. He blinked in RP and then just sold the Tombstone and picked off the Undying. I don't think the Fnatic support should be up that far, especially with Magnus already all the way bottom on that rune.
Yeah, TC's low. TC might actually drop his Aegis right now. He's still alive. He's still alive. Finally dies, and that respawn maybe will set up the RP. You can see Hani looking for Skewer. No, he gets silenced here by Korak. Korak on top of it. Eclipse gets dropped. BKB's up on Aram. BKB might actually kill TC. Yes, they will kill TC. Dreamcore's gonna get dropped, but Korak's on the run as well. Great comeback here from Fnatic. Boba's on the run himself. Boba, I think he's gonna go down. Yes, he will. What a defense coming out here from the Dire side. MSS walks in. He drops his Tombstone. He gets blown as well. Era doing all sorts of damage. Fnatic Era double kill. Fluff gets a double kill himself, but that's definitely less impressive. And I gotta say, impressive play from Fnatic. That's what they need to survive. I mean, they took away the Aegis. They killed TC another time, and Era got what, 3-4 kills in that team fight? 2-3 kills? That's not bad.
That was huge. That was even without RP. I'm so surprised that it went that well for them. I mean, I guess they did put a lot of cooldowns on the Undying, but they didn't even get the T3 out in the engagement, so they blew an Aegis, so that's pretty much 4 kills for them for, I think 3 for Fnatic, Undying, and Undying dying twice pretty much, and Magnus' death. But without RP, that's a huge win for Fnatic.
Yeah, that's a huge win. In fact, I think right now Fnatic could use that RP for a big smoke gank of some sort, and again, delay this game even longer and longer. Sure, playing a farming game against Team Liquid is not what you have in terms of a game plan, but hey, you're not losing, and that's exactly what you need to do. Is this a MKB, or do you go for the Hail Mary here for the gyrocopter?
I think MKB. Or, I don't know.
How many of those team fights do you expect to win?
I don't know. I mean, Hani does have the potential to pull off some RPs, but Korak was just on top of it with that silence.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I think they need it. Look at the gold deficit; it's 15,000. Even with that one team fight, just heavily going in favor of Fnatic, they're still super far behind. I would just go for an Rapier at this point. There's still 5 minutes until Roshan. I think maybe they can sneak in, and that's again, this is a really good place for them to fight. They really do want to fight around the Roche pit because that means more clumping up, easier vacuums, easier RPs, easier call downs, and that's exactly where they need to fight. They won this fight at the top lane just because of that T3 choke pushing up into that hill, and I think they can take a fight similarly at Roshan. And if they get Aegis and a Rapier on the Gyrocopter, that's a totally different ballgame.
Yeah, it really is. And of course, these last two tier 2 towers, if you win a big team fight in the middle of the map, you take those towers as well. So you get yourself some big gold. Let's not forget about Venomancer, his ability to scout basically at those Roshan choke. Tombstone being a huge annoyance factor in the previous Roshan fight. So let's not count Fnatic out just yet. I kind of counted them out because of the big gold deficit and whatever else we just saw. But big team fight on the top lane. Suddenly, I don't want to say that Team Liquid is their game to lose or anything like that. They're still very, very far off ahead, being shown by this 15,000 goal lead. But Fnatic shows that they could win a team fight when it comes down to it. And it wasn't like, it was a double buyback or triple buyback from Fnatic. Gyrocopter just stood in the middle of the fight, BKB, and just won. So we'll see. We'll see. He's farming very deep in the enemy jungle, but he should be fine because BKB TP, there's no way you could cancel that one. So he knows he's okay.
There is a scythe of Ice on Bulbo, though. He is shadow bladed up. Oh, is he going to find him before? Wow, that was close.
Yeah, the last passable moment. If they got him there, buyback being forced out, and I don't think Fnatic will have the momentum to come back in that game. So very, very good TP out, and he's going to go back in the top lane, get some free farm out. And you can see the Boots Travel, like you said, saving gold on TP. I don't think a lot of people think about that particular aspect. Throughout the course of a game, you probably spend, I want to say, 1,000 gold on TP in a longer game, maybe even more than that. And just saving it right from the get-go by going it BLT first, it's not bad. Back in the bot lane, though,
I mean, they get a kill off No-Tail. They have a gem as well as a smoke, and it looks like they are going to push with this.
Yeah, I mean, Veno Den means there's no wards, but I don't think Veno really matters too much.
I agree.
Yeah, Manta.
They were really looking for an important kill. If they got one on the Darkseer or the Magnus, I think it would be game over right there because neither of them have buyback. Magnus just bought an Ogre Club. He only has 4 gold in the bank, and Darkseer with his recent Hood pickup also doesn't have gold for buyback. He has 0 reliable gold at this point. So they were looking for a key gank on one of those two heroes, but unable to find it. Gyrocopter they can kill, but he has buyback.
Yeah, he has buyback, and well, I mean, if he wants his MKB, he will have it very, very soon. Maybe he's gonna. Is he TPing back right now? Where is the Gyrocopter? Gyrocopter is in the jungle.
Casual Tangos. It also saves Booster Travel also saves you an item slot so you can carry Tangos 30 minutes in.
Yeah, man. Break out those trees from Profit. Legit, right? Yeah, the issue is his TP is on cooldown for 16 seconds, so I'm not sure whether Team Liquid realize that. That's why they're making this big push in the jungle. But for now, Team Liquid in a very good position, especially with the Venomancer being picked up. Looks like MSS is back, and hopefully we'll get our game on the way.
Glyph is still up if Fnatic wants to use that. 20 seconds on Venomancer's respawn, and again 16 seconds on boosted travel for the Gyrocopter, as Luminous said. So looking at Liquid's position is actually very good. They're very well split up. TC, if they RP TC, they won't get anybody else, and he does have BKB, and they have plenty of follow-up. Still 2.5 minutes until Roshan, though. I'm not exactly sure whether Liquid is going to retreat right now, but this is prime time for comeback, and this is where Magnus really shines on these choke points when you're trying to get some very important structures or battles, for example, T3 Tower or Roshan. And really, Hani has to make a big RP here if they want to win this game and start the long road to comeback.
Yeah, I don't think Hani could go for any cutesy play with the Blink Skewer. He tried that last time. He got silenced immediately by Korok, and he got blown the hell up. I think you just have to go Blink RP. That's it. And if you get the RP off, try to get Skewer. But I think his job is done at that point. So, because Korok will always he loves his Orchid and is using it beautifully. Orchid is on cooldown for a couple seconds, but it doesn't matter. He will have it for the actual fight. So, yeah, we'll see if that comeback RP, as you call it, would happen. But generally, comeback RP comes from the enemy team being clumped up or making a key mistake. Like you said, the position is almost perfect. Everybody's staying out of sight, everybody's staying away from TC, so you never really get a huge 2-man, 3-man RP that includes TC in it. Looks like we're going to have it unpause, and We'll see. We'll see the long journey home from Gyrocopter as he's running, and maybe he's looking for a huge backstab. No, he's gonna actually farm the mid creep waves, looking for that MKB go perhaps, and they're gonna back off.
Yeah, it's just too risky right now. Again, they have the better late game. Liquid already has a lot of items up on Puck, very many items on Luna, and looking at the net worth graph, it's just Gyro and Nature's Prophet on top. So again, they control 3 of the 4 top net worth, and their pressure's not really on them. I talked about this before. The pressure's really on Fnatic, unless they get an Aegis Rapier combo, yeah, and then it's going to be a lot of trouble for Liquid. They don't have any Ghost Scepters, and I mean, they still have Sheep to deal with it, and possibly an RP steal. Looks like he will get caught out.
Who will get caught out? Oh, looks like on the top lane here. I don't think Arrow will die, especially thanks to that Tango. Is he gonna? No, he's gonna fight back here. Boba's gonna be on the run. Boba's fine though. He's not gonna die to anything. The entire Radiant team's coming in. BKB not being used just yet. He doesn't have TP. Oh no, he's not gonna make it out. He could BKB and try to fight his way out. The Sprout though will still lock him down. No, he's dead. That's gonna be buyback gold if Team Liquid decides to really pressure right now.
Yeah, that was a huge kill for Liquid right there. Boba scouted him out with the Shadow Blade and sheathed him as he was using his boots to travel. So very important kill. Arrow will be forced to buy back as they push this T3 tower on top.
Yeah, and that's going to cut into whatever goal that he wants to use. So you do see the Scythe of Vice being brought here by the Courier, so double Scythe up on Team Liquid. This is probably, I want to say, one of the big peaks of Team Liquid's strength as a team right now. Having 2 Scythes up, having all your spells up, and more importantly, having the Gyro forced to buy back. This is the prime time go. Unless he, again, it all comes down to Hani, whether he's going to land that big RP. Wall's dropped down
he's using delay tactics with the wall.
Yeah, is this a legit? Oh, well, wall is stolen now. Wall is stolen by MSS. MSS is making a big case for a, you know, very impressive Rubik here. He's stolen some big spells this game, and looks like Boba's gonna TP back down, or at least he's looking. He's trying to get some farm going on. Team Liquid has so much more mobility that they could TP out away. There's some buyback recall ability as well here on the Radiant side. So this team fight could go very, very long. The wall is out now, and they could finally charge in. But I guess the wall to delay the fact that there's a buyback. Divine. Divine is up.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. I fully applaud this move because this is Balls of Steels. All right. Do you smoke up and RP?
Oh, yeah. Here we
go. Comeback time. I could hear the smile in your voice, Merlini, because
and Roshan's up too. Everything's looking good.
Are they gonna smoke into Roshan just like, man? No, they can't. They can't. They have to defend their base. Tier 3 is down. They don't have wall. They gotta just find a 2-man. I think if you find a 2-man RP and kill 2 supports instantly, you think that's worth it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
As long as you don't get sheep before BKB or RP, then I think that's a win for them. As long as they don't get sheep before their key cooldowns, it's huge. Wall is not really that important. Almost all their damage is going to come from this RP plus flat cannon rapier combo.
Well, Roshan is back, so I think Team Liquid may want to go into Roche, but that's exactly what Fnatic wants too, right? They want to take you a Roche fight because of the choke that you mentioned, because the sudden burst damage being picked up on Gyrocopter. So that the wall delay tactic, saving the buyback, and then the fact that there's Divine now. The question is, does Team Liquid know that there's a Divine? Like, I don't think Era has shown himself at all.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So I don't think they do know. And look at the way that Era is moving. He is trying so hard to not show himself. This is very, very intelligent play right now.
I think Trixie needs a gem though, just so they don't get the jump. If Nature's Prophet gets a jump on either of those 2 heroes, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, if you Scythe, at the very least, if you bait out the BKB, that's already a big win. There's no buyback on Luna right now. I do want to point out, even though we're so far from that stage yet, there is a possibility of a big team fight being won with Fnatic, and suddenly a Rax being taken because of Luna just picked up an Ego Song. So, where is Area has still not shown himself. I think by not showing himself, do you kind of give away the information that, hey, you know, there might be a Divine. Yeah. Oh, bot lane here, RP being used on TC. They found him, and BKB does not protect you from the big deeps. That is a Divine Rapier. Era's popping his own BKB. Is right-clicking flat cannon. Looks like 2 people has already got kills. TC's dead. Wow. Fnatic is making a comeback. Do you chase for this kill? No, you don't. You get some big tower kills right now. Push down some lane somewhere and get something done. Or do you go back for the Roshan? They go back for the Roche. And is Korok gonna play some sexy Bambo moves right here? He's gonna try. I don't know, man.
This is huge. This is why they picked Gyrocopter as opposed to a safer play like Void or AM, just this Rapier comeback. They're so far behind right now. The gold is 20,000 difference, and they're still in the game.
Korok comes in right now. Pipe is gonna get dropped. He does have the blink. He has a Rainy Rift. He comes in right now, gets a 3-man silence, but he knows there's not enough damage. Nobody's focusing on the Roche, and Gyrocopter snatches the Roshan, so Radiant killed it, but Puck is dead because of that. Does Puck have buyback? Yes, he does. But like you said, 20,000 goal lead, and suddenly, Fnatic's ahead. Welcome to Dota 2, guys. If this is the first Dota 2 game you have watched, we could say that this is not the standard Dota 2 game. When you're down by 20,000 gold, you're actually ahead. But that's how it feels like. Yeah. I gotta say, though, it was just perfectly played on Fnatic's end. The wall to delay, the buyback, and the fact that Gyrocopter did not show his Divine. And somehow TC is generally one of the most clutch players. He generally doesn't make those late game mistakes. Buys the Eagle Song, gets caught out in front of the tier 3 and got picked off. And his entire team was forced to actually take a team fight. And there's hearts being drawn on the mini-map now. So, Venomancer, I guess he's having a good time.
Yeah, and usually if they one-man RP Luna, that's almost automatically a teamfight loss for Fnatic, especially with the ability to buy back and recall back, or just BKB and counter-initiate with Puck. Usually it's just instant loss of teamfight, as we seen a couple of times. But I mean, it really worked out for them. Again, the BKB doesn't protect from that massive amount of physical damage from Gyrocopter. Look at him with Empower. Over 500 damage he's rocking.
Yeah, he's not done just yet. He's looking to pick up a Helm. Helm's, I imagine, it's Helm, unless he's going to go full man mode. No, he's going for Helm. I was like, MOM Divine? I mean, I only seen one player did it in an actual professional game, and of course it was Sing Sing on his Divine Quap with the Mask of Madness. I think it was there was TI2 Western qualifiers, if I remember correctly, but that's another game, nor here or there. And Korok, is he gonna get caught? They have no scythe. He's out.
Wow,
of there.
Look at this instant item pickup though. If you look at the pickups, Liquid Korok, Ghost Scepter, Fluff, Ghost Scepter, Boba, EB, Mojo Stormstout, Ghost Scepter. So they're actually very well prepared to deal with this Rapier.
Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't matter though, right? If they bring down TC, do you win the team fight flat out?
With double sheeps, yeah, I think so. Especially with RP and wall follow-up, especially with this mech and pipe, they have huge amounts of team fight, and TC is really their only source of damage.
Right, yeah.
Nature's Prophet doesn't really have any damage. I mean, he has Scythe and a lot of attack speed and Ethereal Blade, but he's only sitting at plus 36 damage. That's really nothing compared to this Empower, Rapier, Gyrocopter.
So maybe, I think earlier when we're so kind of... there's less pressure on Honey than we imagined. If he gets that one-man RP, particularly because of the Divine, they could burst TC down quickly, and the teamfight gets a lot easier, especially with the Aegis up. Look at how aggressive Liquid is still playing. They're looking for these kills, drops a very deep Observer, trying to find that pickoff, and now suddenly you see Fnatic going on the bot lane, doing a little bit of pressure and pushing themselves, and it's so important to not get picked off right now. Era staying very close to his tier 3 tower. He should be safe. But Team Liquid looking for a big dive themselves. They don't have smoke.
Yeah, Liquid is trying to do two things. They're trying to delay the game so that the Aegis expires and they can attack in that 4-minute window, or they're trying to farm back, buy back on Luna, which she already has.
I think this is probably the safest push you could do here for Fnatic. You push with 4 and rely on your Breach of Travel. It looks like they're going to scythe up. Who are they going to scythe? TP comes in. And Boba, he wanted to go on them. He saw the TP, he was like, oh, shh. And then he just turned the hell back. Do you actually go for base trade? You can't go for base trades against the Divine, right? Yep. Do you? You gotta just go back.
You can do it, yeah. And No-Tail has the gem too, so they're not really vulnerable to the instant sheep on Era.
No, I'm saying Team Liquid can't go for the base trade. Like, Team Liquid will lose, yeah, so they have
Liquid will lose, yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we saw the EB being used to Era just to delay his damage output by a little bit. That tier 3's in trouble, and Era, he's tanky on the front line. He doesn't care. The Divine, I'm not sure when the Aegis is going to run out, but he's actually breaking this Rex. It's Fnatic that's going to take the first set of Rex. No glyph available anymore, and Era, why is he not attacking? Is he blinded? He's blinded. Fair spell, guys. Era's still going to work. There's snipe him up. But still has Aegis. He gets forced to back out. But Eclipse comes down here. They're going to focus on Era. Era's down. Has he used his BKB? That's a big question. He hasn't used it just yet. He comes out. He BKBs. And look at the dispersed. Team Liquid says, we just get the hell out. So that was a very well defended here by Team Liquid. But despite... No, they protected the Rex either as well. Oh no, RP from TC. And TC, he's going to get burst down. Does he have buyback? He does. He does. But all of these team fights is going towards the favor of Fnatic because they have bought a Divine. They have not got punished for it. They force out a buyback from TC. And more importantly, it's Korok. Korok's gonna be dead too. Korok doesn't have buyback, right?
That was not worth the rune.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that wasn't worth it. You can see a Boba trying to do some sneaky tactic himself, but Team Liquid is losing. Team Liquid is losing in a game where they were up by 20,000 gold at one point. By 20,000 gold.
Yep. And what's going to be really important is this next Roshan, if the game gets to that point. So that's what I will be looking for. And around that time, Luna's buyback will be up. She just used buyback. It's up in 4 minutes, so it will be up for this fight. And I'm waiting for this. I think both teams will try and play past it. If they lose to Divine, it's over. It's just like straight up over for them. They're already 20,000 gold behind. With the Rapier, it will just be 26,000, and that's impossible to almost impossible to come back from. So I expect Fnatic to play very, very defensive, and Liquid, hopefully they will play aggressive with smokes, trying to figure out a scythe device. Sheep, they really need a gem so that doesn't happen. Let's see if there's any gem on them right now. Venomazer has sentry wards, only 500 gold in the inventory though, not enough to pick up that gem. And we see a smoke. If they pick off TC, it could be a good game here.
There's also a smoke here on the Radiant side. If, of course, similarly, Fluff is going to break the smoke. Honey is going to turn back immediately. He has his own BKB, so Korok's Orchid is not going to be as effective. Trixie smoked up as well. Both teams are using these smokes like they don't matter, but they do. They have a very, very 10-minute long cooldown, so you got to be very, very careful in how you use your smoke. Also, I do want to point out, I think the most important item for Fnatic to pick up on the supports right now are Force Staffs, multiple Force Staff, because I feel that when you have BKB and Satanic, there is no way in hell they're going to burst down Gyrocopter, no way in hell. The only way they could actually kill him is to siphon him up continuously, but Force Staff, you could rescue your ally like that. So I feel as long as Era stays alive, I think eventually Fnatic will just have more damage, they have more lifesteal, they have more longevity in these team fight. They're going to just flat out win. Gyrocopter does have the Satanic finish. I love the fact that he's not saving for buyback. Because, like you said, if he dies once, it drops the Divine, the game is over. There is no buyback. They have like gone down the path of no return. As long as you just hope you don't die. And so far, he's not dying. So
maybe Era was gearing up for this whole entire time with his early boost of travel. He wants to be slick-slotted with the Rapier.
There you go, man. Well, he's still very far from 6 slots right now. He still has room for that Tango, which
he needs a lot of items. He needs like Monkey King bar for this blinding light. His backing bar is down to 6 seconds, and then they have an EB too for Nature's Prophet. He might need a Manta to split out of that. He needs Butterfly for some physical evasion. I mean, he just needs a lot of items. He's a little bit behind at this point, but he does have Rapier and Satanic, and that is just really problematic for Liquid. I'm just so surprised that they're still in this game, and this is the power of Rapier Gyrocopter. So 2.5 minutes, and again, I still think it's just going to be very pass on both sides. If either team messes up right now, it's game over. And with the Aegis, you can afford, there's a lot more leeway for mistakes, especially, again, with 2 slots open up on Gyrocopter, he could pick up the Aegis and the Cheese, and that just makes it increasingly difficult for Liquid to take him down, even with constant sheeps.
All right, Merlini, before we sign Team Liquid out, Boba has 6k gold, now 4k after he bought a Demon Edge. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Because if they get the Aegis and they get a counter Rapier on top, I don't know. Like, we were talking about how TC was kind of the primary source of DPS. So you could solo RPM, the team fight is basically won. Suddenly, it's not it's a different story. If there's like, he doesn't even need Divine. If he gets like a real damage item like a Daedalus, not to say that Divine isn't a real damage item, I'm not saying that at all. Like, suddenly you have to worry about Boba because he is doing a ton of damage. And the BKB is a great way to make the Gyrocopter survive against magical damage. You could just burst him down.
Daedalus.
Boba.
Disappointed.
Are you going to talk to him after this?
If he did die, though, I mean, imagine Gyro with 2 Rapiers. Oh my goodness, that's just absolutely no coming back from that. I mean, there is always the potential for him to just mess up a little bit in the position, get RP'd. Yeah, sure, he has buyback and get globally TP back, but with 2 Rapiers, like, what are you going to do about that? So again, 1 minute until Roche timer. Both teams just playing passively, looking not to make a mistake at this point. Looks like Korok is over here. They need a gem. They have a Sentry Ward, but no gem.
Ooh, 1-man RP just for Korok. Korok gets blown up here, but that's okay. That's okay. He has buyback. He does. And is this the entire time for the raid? Oh no, Fluff, don't get caught out. Fluff is on the run. Immediate buyback. Fluff is going to just straight up TP out. They've lost a lot of gold and time, more importantly, because Fluff is all the way back to base now. He has to get the hell out to the Roshan pit.
They're not gonna have RP up for this Roshan though, and it's gonna be very, very important for them to secure this. There's about 35 seconds left on that, and 70 seconds left on RP. What are they gonna do to contest this? If Liquid goes for it, can they contest it without RP? Maybe because of that choke, but still, it's gonna be very, very dangerous. We see both teams already pinging on that. We see a Vino Ward drop there, 4 of Liquid's hero already there, and again, Korok already popped back. So again, this is still a very, very close game.
Yeah, Boba is already in the position. I gotta say, both supports have to start dewarding this particular area. Right now, the Dire has full sight, full vision of this particular page. Roshan's back. This one drops the cheese, and TC already on the case. No RP like you talk about. So where the hell is the attack angle? Trixie has his force staff. Do you go for steal if Team Liquid's or if Dire's your? Oh, well, Trixie's thinking about it. He gets lifted. Tombstone gonna get dropped up. Aegis gonna get picked up by Luna. And BKB Gyro is on the case. He's doing a ton of right click here. BKB's up on TC as well. He's losing the man fight here. He's gonna come back at full HP, but unfortunately, there is also Satanic. Uh-oh. Yeah, Eric gets sniped up here. TC's right-clicking away. Where the hell's the support? You can see that Gyro's, Gyro's winning the fight regardless. He wins. He wins. Korok comes here on the back line here. Fluff and slow. Multiple buyback being used on both sides here. But Era has the biggest balls on the map. He's going to get another kill with the earn use.
RP.
What's RP? What's RP? I don't hear his RP. It looks like somebody died.
He whipped it on Korok.
And now Korok, Era's still surrounded by 3 and 4. He gets EP up. He's down to about half HP. He gets 4 staff back, so he's going to be fine. At the end of the day, nobody is actually winning because everybody and their mother has bought back. And I think Team Liquid has 5 heroes on the map. They could push down mid. There is no more RP. There's no more wall. There's still that BKB Gyro, though. And that's the biggest wall they cannot go through.
Wow. Hani, missing that would have been a huge kill on Korok right there. He doesn't have buyback, he just used it. Oh, looks like they're gonna go on top. Is this gonna be the end?
Yeah, Scythe off. Boba's looking for the surge. They got a BKB pop, and Korok's gone. He's gotta turn back. He does turn back. They lift up the Venomancer. He's not even worth his lift at this point anymore. I don't think so. But looks like they wasted the BKB on Gyro. I think this is go time. Yes, in fact it is. TC's gonna come in. He does have his own BKB. Blink's stolen. I'm not exactly sure what he stole. It's gonna be a Tombstone. I'm not sure what Tombstone's gonna do. Look at how much zombie kills he's gonna be doing. A Gyrocopter gets searched back and forth. He's out of mana at this point. He's gonna get stunned as well. He's down to about half HP. He doesn't have mana at all. You don't need mana to use the Titanic, but they're going to lose a Rax. That was a very, very difficult fought Rax, and is Liquid going to look for more right now? I think they can, simply because BKB is down for about 15 more seconds.
Yeah, but RP is very, very, very close to being up. If they overextend right now, wow.
Well, there's no more buyback now. They do find him. Korok, Dream Coil Bomb. You can see that Era running back and forth. He does have BKB right now. RP, that's going to hit on Boba. Still Cypher. Where the hell? No! Counter RP! That's going to be even 4. They're focusing Era. Era is dead. And everybody else is also dead. Divine's on ground somewhere. And GG is being called out. MSS stand-in. Somebody pick him up. Does Fnatic and they have him keep that player? Because that guy is clutch as hell. And Boba, as well as TC right now, will thank the stand-in because that was a big counter RP. MSS greater than a god. Called out by Boba. Divine still on the ground just as a trophy. Nobody cares about it. Nobody wants it. And Team Liquid takes a game that I wanted to say that it was always in their hands, but Fnatic definitely made a game out of that one.
Wow, huge RP steal. I think it's a little bit of Hani's fault too. He could have Blacking Bar and just like most Magnus is how they deal with it is just blink immediately, RP and then Shockwave, and then unless the Rubik has like Chuan-like reflexes, he's not going to be able to steal it. But wow, what a game! What a game!
What a game indeed. Well, that was day 1 of replay. We're gonna have an entire week of replay action tomorrow. There's another best of 3. I don't think Merlini will be joining us there because you're doing other activities, but thank you so much for joining me today because these are some of the most impactful insane games and your insight was very, very welcome.
Well, thanks for having me. These were very great games to cast. I'm excited that I got a chance to watch these. Wow.
Of course, check out
still wow.
Yes. Check out Merlini's stream because he's doing a TI2 ticket thing. I'm so bad at butchering that. You could check out Merlini's website to read more about it. Definitely, there's mini tournaments, there's games, there's viewers games. So if you're a fan of Merlini, definitely check him out. Of course, you could check me out on my YouTube channel, Luminous Inverse. But that's it for us today. We're gonna have more Beyond the Summit action tomorrow, more replay action coming your way. But for now, thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow. See you later, guys.